No, security is hard, so let's assume we're probably gonna get owned by noon. But if we all start to get the basics right, we might not fully get owned until tonight. Okay, good afternoon. And hello, Tim. Hello, Akutastic. I think things are running fine. Let me just do a quick sound check. Quick sound check with myself. Hold on. Okay, I think it's working. Let me mute that so I don't get the loop-de-doops. I did a Mac OS update this week, and it's come along with sound issues, video issues, disk space issues, and drumroll please, random reboots. So if I'm suddenly just gone, I apologize. I have no idea if I'll be able to go back in and just restart this stream, or if the streaming software will just be like, you're done, fella, and then that'll be it. But I will, we always do a audio counterpart to this video episode. So if you just go to 7minsec.com, it'll be there tomorrow. Okay, if this just crashes and burns, I'm sorry, but the joys of technology, I guess. Okay, so I'm excited and nervous today to talk to you about the report writing tool we've completely moved over to, called CIS Reptor. And I just want to be totally clear. This is not like a sponsored or partnership episode with them. This is just something that our team really, really likes, and we think you may like too. And we like to talk about those things on this show. So I'm going to majorly tempt the demo gods. Oh, and hello, Anton. I'm going to majorly tempt the demo gods and try to get this sucker installed so you understand what the lift is there, and actually get us writing a couple reports, or one report. And then I want to show you kind of what is, in my opinion, the/a killer feature that this has, that has sped along our pen testing so much. And that is the ability to send artifacts like captured log files or hashes or whatever. Send that directly to the report server, and send findings directly to the report server from wherever you are from command line. It's cool. I'm really jazzed about it. So I'm going to try to just bang through the installation as quickly as I can. Again, just because I know when I have side conversations with some of you, you're like, I don't know about this whole Docker thing. I don't know about, I'm maybe not super comfortable with Linux. That's okay. And actually they have, just before we get into it, I'm going to show you the community version that doesn't cost anything, self-hosted. And, hopefully I will demonstrate, if things work, that you can stand it up pretty quickly, or you can do, I don't know what the conversion is to US dollars. Is it pretty close? Is it like around $50 a month? You can get the pro version that has some more features, and they will host it for you. So if you're not a big fan of having yet another cloud thing out there to maintain and inventory and patch, you could let the Sysreptor folks do it for you. But we're gonna give a shot to the self-hosted free version. So we're gonna need the official Docker installed, and so I'm gonna just go over here to the link. To the link that they directly give me here to jump off to docker.com. And what I've got set up in my lab here is just a completely vanilla Ubuntu install. And it's got a super strong password, so don't hack it. Okay. Uh-oh. Or did I actually give it a good password? Oh, Fufta. Okay, I didn't. So this is what have I got here? Ubuntu 2204 with nothing but like apt-get updates run on it. Okay, so I haven't pre-installed anything, which might make for an interesting install, actually. So if you're doing this on a box you've done other Docker things with, I like this. They have a little section here about how you can quickly uninstall old versions with this little code snippet right here. But this is brand new out of the box. So I think we're fine to just continue here with setup Docker's apt repository. So I'll copy that sucker and I'll paste that sucker and go. And oh, jeepers. Oh, goodness. Try this again. Oh, I see. It's going to do the thing where, okay, let me do this. Apt get update, give it the password. I just never know. Like sometimes I'll just be totally transparent with you. Sometimes these things go smooth. Sometimes they don't with the whole copy and paste a bundle of Linux commands. And I think like the whole sudo thing gets in the way. So let me just try one more time. Okay. So I if you didn't see what I did there, I just ran the sudo apt get update, provided my password, which will kind of cache that for a while so it doesn't ask for it. Oh, and our pal Jeff McJunkin confirms copy and pasting a block of text with sudo inside is problematic. Thank you, Jeff. A lot of things I think I run into privately, I go, it's just a me thing. I just got to get better at computers, but it's nice to know it's not just me. So, okay, so I pasted that whole blob, right? That sets me up with the apt repository for Docker. And then down here, let's install the Docker packages with this little guy. So I'll just hit the clipboard for that sucker. Give it a paste to root. Nope. And here's the other thing that doesn't seem to work reliably for me. Copy and paste. Let's try again. Okay. Oh, did I forget to do a sudo apt get update at the end? Okay. What did I do here? Did I not get the right things installed? Okay. Uninstall the following packages. Do the thing. Okay, I did the thing, I think, didn't I? Okay. And now do the thing. Okay. I don't know. I'm not sure what I did here. Okay. Let's see. And here's where I go to the still need the repo from the prior step. Oh, shoot. I tell you what, is it better? Like, okay, here's one thing I always wondered too. I'm going to try this right now. Doc.sh. Does it work better if I do something like this? This is maybe like the hackiest hack thing. that might be doing it. Oh my gosh, we're making connections in the chat too. That's awesome. Okay, let's try again. Now? Oh, there we go. Okay. So I don't know if what I just did was what you would call supported, but if you didn't catch it, what I essentially did, I just opened up like a notepad. I put this whole blob of text from the Docker website. I saved it as a .sh file. That's just a shell script file, set it to executable, and then ran it with sudo. And then that time it seemed to be, it ran and updated and installed all of the things. So yeah, for all your Linux admin needs, just call 7minutesecurity.com. Okay, so we did that. We installed the latest version. We could verify that things work by running the hello world container. I mean, I want to do that for sure if copy and paste will work. Oh, there we go. There's the hello world Docker. Okay, cool. So we've got that flipping part done. Let's see what else we need. So we got to get Docker. Then we do the sudo apt update. I think I've done that like 30 times, but I'm going to do it again because it kind of makes a person feel good to do it. Good. And let's install some additional thingies, right? Because we're in the installation via script. Okay. Poppity do. Install that. Okay, so far, so kind of good. All right, and then you can run the installation script. You must have permission to use Docker. For the professional, do this. For community, do this. And I know based on having lots of other things not install right, that because I'm running here in Linux as a basic user, I am going to run that curl script, but after the pipe, I'm going to go sudo bash. And then I think we'll just have a little better time with things. Okay. For the love of Pete. Okay, so now we're cooking. I know that this will take a couple of moments. So let me then, while this is simmering in the background, let me bring to your attention just a couple things, kind of observations in working with Sysreptor. one thing that's been a big selling point for me, that some colleagues have asked about is like, oh, does it make you nervous to go over to, like go all in on an open source project that's I don't think maintained by a huge team? Does that get your, the cockles of your heart all twisted up? And I guess that's just like I sort of think about it in terms of anything that I use on a pen test. I mean, my go-to tools like Rubius and NetExec and this and that. I mean, it is feasible, right, that those get abandoned or somebody else has to pick them up. So I don't lose too much sleep about it. The other question I got, and I just wanted to address is a couple of my friends are like, dude, didn't you like just do an episode where you bragged up how awesome Attack Forge was? And what's your problem with Attack Forge? I just want to be super clear. I have no problems with Attack Forge. I can't remember if I did an episode on it or not. I loved and still love Attack Forge, but let me tell you why this is brewing here. Kind of oh, whoops, I didn't mean to. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that comment up forever. I there's a little kink in my workflow that made Sysreptor a good fit, and that is when I get a pen test report done, when I've been using Attack Forge or any tool, I export to Word, right? And it's like, hey, this thing is pretty much show ready. But then I go, oh, you know what? This link in this reference here, I actually like this other article better, so I'll plug that in. And oh, when it gets to the description about curb roasting, I actually like this language better. And I do that for like a dozen things. And I go, I'm sure I'll remember to go put those in the master templates inside of Attack Forge. And I never do. So I end up with a Word version that's quite a bit different from the Attack Forge version. And that's not the end of the world. But what is happening more and more the last few years is that we deliver a pen test. And right away, the client's like, okay, keep your pen test Dropbox right here. Give us 30 days. We want to at least knock these criticals off the board. We want you to do a scoped retest, and then we want a Delta report that shows all the great remediations that we've done. Swell, love that. But they get done with their remediation. I do the retesting, and then I look at my Word doc and I go, oh shoot, I really want to take advantage of like some of the retest capabilities that Attack Forge or any other tool have, where I can just open up the finding and say, click, this is a retest, and they did this, they did that to remediate things. Let me pop in a couple of screenshots, and now I'm going to mark this as closed, and then I can give them this nice updated report that shows here's where you were. Now here's all the things that are crossed off the board, and look at things trend in the right direction as you make your environment more resilient to attack. So I'm kind of like stuck where I go, all right, do I go back into Attack Forge or whatever tool, and do I kind of like punch it up to match the Word version and then shift into retest mode and take advantage of all the retest capabilities? And at that point, I usually go, the Word document it's just easier if I do this manually now, even though it's painful and I'm not getting my full value out of the tool. So I was lamenting about this to a coworker, and he was like, well, have you checked out Sysreptor? Because with Sysreptor, there is no export to Word. And that's maybe something I should have said at the beginning of this, because that's been the point of discussion I've had with my colleagues, is immediately many of them are like, that gives me a tight bum. I don't even want to think about that. I need my Word version. And that was my reaction too. I thought, this is absolute insanity. But as I just sat and kind of pondered it for a while, I was like, this may be that thing that I need to get to a point where the report version that's in the tool is gospel. It is the final version. So I gave it a spin, and I know I'm going to get back to our install here, but I just wanted to point to your attention. You can do, you can request. Oh, here we go. Oh, try demo here. Somewhere in here, there was a sign up with us to get a demo and get a little presentation. And I did that, and I thought it was wonderful, because they gave the kind of demo that I like to give, where it's like, hello, let's exchange pleasantries, and now let me just show you this thing and see if it's the right fit for you. And they did a very good job of like, Here's what it can do. Here's what it can't do. Give it a spin and let us know what you think. So what I did and what I'm going to resume doing now is I just set it up in the lab first. So here we go. This install is now done. Let's just verify. Oh, you know what? Let me copy this for later because I don't think this gets shown again. So there's my default creds. Let me take a look. Oh, and there's probably different ways to show listening ports, but I'm just going to do good old netstat. I feel kind of like old guy a little bit with Linux. I'm sure, like I was still using, I don't know, is Pico still a thing? Yeah, I was still using that. I don't know, till 10 minutes ago. No, I'm just kidding. But let's look at listening ports. There we go. And we see here's port 8000. Now, here's something that I ran into right off the bat where I go, okay, cool. I'm going to go to 10.0.7.123 port 8000, just like that. And we're sitting and we're waiting and we're waiting and we're waiting. And that is because by default, this just listens on localhost. Just so essentially only if I had a desktop GUI attached to this box, I could go, localhost 8000 and start using Sysreptor. So I'm never shy about the things I don't know. So I went right into Sysreptor Issues, and I think I went. Let me see. Local? No. LAN? You see. There it is. There's my noob ticket going like, hi, I put this in an environment, but I don't know how to access it from outside of localhost. So they gave me a bunch of different options, and I just want to like say this is the kind of the quickness and the level of detail I get from this group as far as responses to my issues makes me feel more confident about that concern I shared earlier, where it's like, oh, what if one day they just close up Sysreptor? I'll be screwed. That still could happen, but they've been extremely attentive and are really rapidly developing this, which gives me the warm fuzzies. But for the sake of the lab, what I did is in fact, they have instructions right in their documentation to build up a little web server using Caddy, which is an open source web server. And we did, let me just, if you're not familiar with that and you want a primer, I'm pretty sure we did one. Yeah, back here. Well, we showed you how to get Caddy up and running real quick to make a point and shoot phishing server. Okay. But it's really, if you've not used it before, it's not hard to get going. But essentially, I'm using Caddy to as a reverse proxy to get to Sysreptor. So let me just show you what that looks like in a lab environment. Okay. So I'm gonna do a little copy pasta from my end just because I don't really want to go hunting for the Caddy package. Let me see, of course, if copy and paste works between endpoints. Oh, I wonder if that's broken on the Mac. Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm doing like a fast version of this, right? But I'm downloading the Caddy package. I'm going to install it. And then I'm just right in home here, I'm going to make a Caddy server. I'm sorry, a Caddy folder. And inside Caddy, I am going to go nano. I'm going to create a Docker compose file. This is the Cliffs Notes version of what the Sysreptor documentation would tell you to do. Okay, and I'm just going to paste this guy in here. Okay, nope, not working. I think with the new Mac update, you just have to copy everything twice to clipboard and then it'll work. Okay, so what I'm doing here, the key line here is this right here. Create a reverse proxy from port 7777 to the local host on port 8000. So in other words, in my browser, once I fire this up, I should be able to go HTTP 192 or whatever it is, 10.0.7.123:7777. Upon hitting that, this Docker container that's listening will go, oh, cool. You actually want to talk to the Sysreptor server that is listening on port 8000. Now, here is where, and I won't get into too much of the weeds of this today, but here is where, if you want to make things really easy and you want to stand this up on like a public droplet that you and your team can use, This is the line where you would say like reverse proxy from https://7msreporting.net. And don't go there. I have no idea what's on that site. It's not, I'm just, spitballing. 7msreporting.net to, and then set up your forward that way. And when you do that, Caddy will actually, upon firing up, as long as you've got your DNS pointed right to your droplet, it'll leverage Let's Encrypt, and it'll stamp right on there the HTTPS cert, and you'll be up and going with an HTTPS protected public facing Sysreptor droplet in that quick, maybe 30 seconds, something like that. But again, I'm just doing this internally for demo sake. So I'm going to leave it as just, let me hit this on the LAN on port 7777. All right. I think that should do it. This live demo isn't going terribly, but there's still lots of time. Still got tons of time. Recompose up D. What is that? Docker computer. I think it's Docker Compose. I don't think. There we go. Okay, sorry. I've been having a lot of fun pen testing, and it's now given me the cray giggities, and that's crazy giggities. I'm getting this weird combination of nights of too much sleep and then not enough, and then too much caffeine, and then trying to cut that out of my diet, and it's made me a little bit slappy. So sorry, not sorry. Okay, let's try it again. 10.0.7.123.7777. Oh yeah, there we go. And we're in. It's CIS Reptor time. Okay, so I have a habit of opening too many tabs and documents. Anybody can maybe relate to that? All right, let's try it. Again, when I first installed CIS Reptor, did you see I got a default username and password? And I love that it is quite complicated and secure. So Reptor, paste. Now, here's another thing that I flippin' love, which is MFA supported, offered upon first login, and available in the free version. Remember, I'm using the free version. I feel like if this was name of some money grubbing security company here, they definitely would have only brought MFA over to the pro version. I'm not going to name a service that I used to use for a number of years, but it was something that housed very sensitive data, and MFA was only available on their insanely expensive plan. So I just love seeing things like this where it's just, not only is it offered in the free version, but it's not even like I have to go into my account and opt in. It's like right away pushing me to set up MFA. That's just so cool. I'm not going to do that for now though. And no, thank you, Google. I don't want you to remember that. So here we go. They give you some nice templates to, some nice templates to start with, or designs. So what I did, and what I'm not going to go into because it would be embarrassing for me, is it gives you some pretty templates that you could start basing your own off of. So this demo matrix, it is now rendering, the PDF version. But all I did really is I picked something where I go, oh yeah, I like the look and feel of that. I know that I can get this recolored and kind of skinned to look 7MSE. And that's how I got started. I just went into the designs. I went to, let's see, demo matrix. Oh, I think once I open it up, maybe, I don't know. Someplace there's a place to, copy. Here we go. New design, base it on matrix, right? Another thing to definitely not gloss over is that if you notice here, let me just go into demo matrix. If I were to make, let's say this is my template, and if I want to make changes to this, if you've ever used Squarespace, something like that, notice there's not this, pretty WYSIWYG, like drag things around and easily highlight it and make changes. You're right here in the meat and potatoes of the code. So for me, and I know this might make some of you go, what the heck? It actually was a fun exercise to harken back to my very limited HTML skills and classes that I took. And that combined with a whole lot of help from ChatGPT, I was able to really, in not that much time, take these code snippets and recolor things to be the 7ms gray and blue, and choose the font family that I wanted, and so forth. So again, I'm going to skip over that part because I mean, it's not super interesting to watch probably. I want to get right into showing you, interacting with this in a report fashion. All right. So let's do this. Let's go to home. Let's say we're going to start a new project, and this is going to be for a test company. And I'm just going to use the matrix. Okay. All right. So we're going to get this created. Another thing I wanted to point out. So you can in findings here, they've got a bunch built in here, right? And you could certainly import your own. But I wanted to definitely make sure to mention that one of the things that made me scared to move from Attack Forge or anything else to Sysreptor is I, like you, probably have spent a lot of time building custom findings. And I thought, holy heck, if I have to copy and paste, dozens of findings, the title, the risk, the CVSS, I am going to flip a table. So originally I just went into my Attack Forge portal. I copied and pasted the main fields out of like a couple findings, just to see how it would go workflow wise to bake those findings into my main library. And that is when I got like the light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh, I'm going all in on this because of this section that I read right here. Let me bring this up. Automating reporting via the CLI. So I'm gonna go through this and go through this setup. But what Sysreptor can do is interact with a little Python module called Reptor. And what you can do with Reptor is you can send over API and over HTTPS, send artifacts like log files, roastable hashes, whatever, and findings right to your report, and directly tag it to the report that you're working on. So immediately I thought of the scenario of, okay, I've got my Pentest Dropbox out at client X, right? I'm starting their test. I'm doing maybe the roastable attack. Oh, cool. I've got hashes. I've got the finding. I want to report on that right now, because for me, and this is just a flaw with my workflow, I guess, is that I tend to be pretty awesome about taking really good notes and screenshots along the way of the test, and I timestamp everything and write it up like a diary. But when the test is complete, I kind of relive the test again from the beginning as I'm building the report. And I don't know about you, but I'll end up with screenshots in my folder that when I pop it open, I go, oh, wait a minute. Do they have vulnerable Active Directory certificate services? Well, let me go retest that. Oh, no, that's right. They didn't. What an idiot. Why didn't I go and delete that screenshot? And so I make way more work for myself because I tend to do the real writing at the end. But as I was thinking about how I could write this, on the fly, super fast, basically from the customer environment, I got really excited. So I want to show you just an example of what that looks like. Okay. So one thing I'm going to need to make this sing is in order to be able to talk to the report server, I'm going to need an API key. So from just anywhere where you're logged in here, just come up into profile and right there, API tokens. Oh, I got to log in again. I like that too, right? In case my son just walked in and was like, I'm going to mess with his Sysreptor stuff. Oh, got to re-authenticate. Okay. No Google. Goodness. Okay. Let's add an API token. I like this too. You can make it expire if you want. So I've started doing that. It is more work. But I will have this expire about every week, because maybe I start a test on Monday and I allow from the client site, whatever their public IP is, I let that hit my Sysreptor public server, but nothing else. So this isn't our server isn't just getting seen and pounded on by the general internet noise. It's only people who are in our homes or our offices or the client are able to connect to the server. And so it's probably overkill, but at the end of the week, I nix the client IP off my firewall, and the API token expires as well. But for this instance, I'm not going to have that expire. But I am going to copy it and save that to our little notepad here. Blam. Okay. So we've got that for later. And then I'll just go straight through the instructions here. So from Python, they want us to do pip3 install Reptor. So let's do that. Oh, son of a. Now's not the time for spelling. Okay, we'll let that go. And so I've got this installed on both the Windows Dropbox and the Kali Dropbox. So no matter which box I'm in, as I'm chugging along in a pen test, at a moment's notice, I can summon the powers of Reptor and, throw an artifact, throw a finding directly to the report server. Okay, now let's try that again. Let's do pip3 install Reptor. There we go. And then here's one thing that I don't like about Linux that I always screw up, which is now I think if I type Reptor, it's not found, and that's because of a path issue, I believe. So I think Reptor got installed here. So if I'm not mistaken, gosh, it's like tempting the demo gods way too much. Nope. Okay, let's try that copy and paste one more time. Copy, pasty. Nope. Okay, let me see. Okay, so let me try again from the Mac. I think just the second copy will do it. Yeah, there it is. I think we figured out the bug. Just do copy twice. Okay, let's export the old patharoo. Now let's type Reptor. Okay, and we're ready to rept all the things. So if let's say we're out at a pen test now, right? This is our Dropbox at the client site. We're going to do Reptor space conf, as in configuration. Okay. And we just need to answer a couple things. Where's our server? So normally here's where you would type your report server server.io.ru.lol.omg. Okay. But for our sake, we're just internal, and we're going to do HTTP 10.0.7.123:7777, right? Because that's where we are, right up there. 10.0.7.123:7777. Blam. Where's the API token? And let's see, way too many things open. It's right there. And I think it's just the Sysreptor part. Copy, paste. Oh, thank you, paste, for working. Okay, and then project ID. This is easy to find because if I go over to here, where's the thing we were doing? There's our test company project right here, right? Staring you in the face, this long string here. Let's make sure we get it right. That's the project you're working on. Because what I want to essentially do is tell Sysreptor, this is the project I'm working on right now. So always throw the findings and the throw the findings, throw the artifacts, and tag it right to this specific report. All right, so we'll do that. Blam. And do I want to store it right to disk? Yeah, I do. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we're ready to do a thing. Let me use oh shoot, do I even have I want to use that Kerberoast as an example. And I'm so sorry, I don't have Impacket installed, so we'll just do a little let's just get that real quick so I can show you. Hit clone, paste. I think more than being scared of like the demo gods going crazy, it's just my typing that's really not on point today. And let me think. Oh, we got to go install that. Let's do a pip3 install .ru. Oh no, what did I do? ./ That's probably not right, is it? I don't know. I probably just broke the world, but let's try. And I'm going to see if I can get copy and paste to work so that I don't have to type all this in, because if that part's not going so well. There we go. Okay, let's try this. Whoops. Let's try that. Let's try the, oh, I got to go do examples. Let's try this. Okay. Get user. Okay, so get, oh, 3, get user SPNs. And then I've got a user here. So this is me just using a general Active Directory account to do the Kerber roasting attack. And I've got winter 2023, I think, as the password. Oh, whoops. Oh, there it is. Request. Okay. So there's my Kerber roastable accounts, right? We got DB admin. We've got SQL service. Let me run that one more time and just save it out to kerbs.txt. Oh, that's right. And I don't know why that is. Even if I do sudo, I don't think it works, but I know if I write to the temp folder, that should work. Temp kerbs.txt. Okay, so I go, all right, cool. There's 2 things I want to do now, right? I want to, let me go to the desktop for this. I want to do 2 things. I want to send this artifact to myself, just right to the reporting server so that I have record of it and I can start roasting those hashes over an open Hashcat fire. And I want to just throw this finding right in the report. So I'm going to do that with this Reptor command line. So I'm going to do Reptor, shoot, is it Reptor file temp kerbs? Yeah. Okay, boom, written to uploads. It used the API, went connected to the reporting server and tagged it to this report. So if I go into notes, oh, hello. I'm realizing now as I'm laughing out loud to myself that I knew this before, but I am a big dumb animal because I think that is so awesome. Okay. But think about this for just like certified, all the things that you might do, a secrets dump, right? All the things you do logs for. And if you're like me, sometimes you forget, you dump them in the terminal, but you forget to do out file to something. And it's like, oh, scroll up. Hopefully it's still in history. JK, LOL. It's not. So I'm like a katana with, is that how you say it? I'm like a gunslinger with sending artifacts to the report servers so that I just stream of consciousness am not forgetting things. Okay, but I want to go into this reporting now, and I want to report the Kerber roastable finding. Now you can certainly in here in your like finding database, you could bake those findings right in. But back when we got this webinar started, I mentioned to you that my kind of problem is I'm always tuning the findings. I'm always putting new articles in there, new ways to say the recommendations that hopefully are more appealing and just digestible to the audience. So we go about this a little different way. When our Pentest Dropbox is getting deployed, it connects to a web server we have, and it pulls down a large folder full of .json files. So it's one finding per JSON file. And I think I saved a sample to the desktop. Yeah, I did. So I have one here. This is a JSON formatted file for the Kerber roast finding. So just imagine with me, if you will, we have like a folder here called findings, and I've got this. This is at the ready. I've got a folder full of dozens of these, right? Well, check this out. I go cat kerberoast.json pipe Reptor finding, blam. And just like we're at some sort of David Copperfield show, actually, I think if we just wait a second, oh, oh goodness, isn't that fun? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if someone could just type, I am putting words in your mouth, I guess. If you could just type, that's fun, then I'll feel like somebody out there is at the nerd level I am. I'm gonna go into the finding, and so we have kind of redone our template to map to different fields. So you'll see that some of this is not so some of the data fields did not populate, but that's just because our real production server has been tuned a little bit. But one of the areas we'll have, for example, is yeah, it's not in the default template, but imagine there's a kind of a proof of concept, like show me some cool screenshot stuff. So blah blah. Here's how we did Kerber roasting, and then I want to put some screenshots in. This may be just a little thing to you, but it's a huge thing to me. Just with the way I've got my box at home here structured, the folder where all my screenshots live is like 30 subfolders deep in a hard drive. So when I have to click upload picture, I know it's like first world problems. I have to drill down and be like, okay, where's and yeah, screenshot. And then if I use something like Snagit, the screenshot names are all 2024-04-04-1342- screen-cap, right? So then it's like, oh shoot, I don't even know what this is. So now I got to go over to Finder and I got to actually preview them all and go, what do I want here? Okay, I want this one. So let me find that file name. Oh, okay, upload it. So I just adore that you can do copy and paste screenshots right into Sysreptor. So let me just go back to, where did I leave that Kerberos.txt? That was probably here, yeah? Curb, is that where it was? Well, I can't remember now. So instead, oh, it was in temp. There we go. Temp curbs. So maybe this is not a great example, but something like this, maybe we do, I don't have my good like editing tools here, but we want to give a nice proof of concept screenshot to the customer. So, we do something like this, and I don't know how to draw a box, but we do red pen and we make it a big fat pen, just to point out like, oh, we've got DB admin. It's terrible. It's like a person with a broken hand doing circling. Okay, we copy that. We come over here and we just go paste, and there it is. And then here's where initially I was like, yikes! I'm kind of particular about how things are sized. What if this is going to make for an awkward page break or something like that? At a very elementary level, you could do something like this. Shrink it down if you get a screenshot that's way too big. And I know there's way more like customization you can do, but one of the things, let me find that little snippet. One of the little snippets that the developers showed me that I really like is turning it into a figure with a caption underneath it. I think looks really nice. Let me see if this is going to. I mean, my biggest challenge today is copying and pasting. Let's see if I can just get it done one more time, and then we'll kind of wrap up here. Paste. Okay, there we go. There we go. So I kind of like to style mine like this. Let me fix this name. This is, image. Oh, it is image.png. Okay. So let me get rid of this extra one. So, here's a nice looking caption for this really swell picture, right? And then notice I've got just a little thin border in 7ms blue with a caption at the bottom here. And affected components and so on and so forth. But that there's so much more to show you, but I just wanted to give you a real taste for this. Oh, and let's do well, I'm not saying the default templates aren't great, but I am not prepared to show you the I don't have the 7ms template pulled over. Oh, but okay, let me tell you this last thing. Again, it might be a little thing to you. It's a huge thing to me. Let's say I thought I was done. I populated 50 findings. I'm the InfoSec Shakespeare, and I'm just delivering prose that's going to make the client cry. And I go over here to publish. Look at these little kind of warnings on the right. These are super helpful. So you just expand these down, and it lets you know, hey, you didn't fill in what the report date was. or the start date or the end date of the test, and you've got some empty fields in your findings. That's super helpful, so you don't leave missing information in the report, right? Um, and then this one I think might even be more helpful, which is here's all the places where the word to do was found. So I didn't show you that, but let's say, let's use the curb roastable finding as an example. Let's say that I got the finding in here, right? And I've pulled over 10 curb roastable users, and I'm going to try cracking them for the next 2 days. What I want to make sure is I come back here and, right there, I say, well, I cracked 3 out of the total number of accounts, or maybe I didn't crack any. I want to remember to go back and do this before I publish to the client. So I just type to do, and not only does it just pop in red, and this is default, I didn't set this up. It pops up in red. And then again, once I go to, get out of here, Chrome. Chrome is almost, the new Chrome, almost as bad as Internet Explorer, where it's like, hey, mandatory wizard for you to answer stuff to. Oh, you want to browse? Not until you let us take your privacy away. Go over here to publish. And now that unresolved to do should be here. And then if you, once we click there, actually pops up a new window, and I can quick fix that. We cracked all the things. OMG, LOL, zombies. Okay. And then see a little save icon there. Watch it just without me touching it. Does a little auto save. Love that. Love that. And now I think I just need to refresh. And now we're down some to-dos, right? I've still got some work to do, but I'm almost ready to give this to the client. And I think this is really cool too. I didn't really think about this in the past. As I maybe like you, I have a secure email system where I can email reports to clients. I didn't really ever think about just doing, maybe this is what all the cool kids are doing, but I didn't think about, why don't I just encrypt the PDF and then out of band, maybe text them the password. That would work pretty well, but really slick, right? So you can encrypt it. In fact, that's on by default. I might ask, I kind of would like it to not be encrypted by default, but then again, secure by default, defaults are good. And that's it. Yeah. You download that puppy and you're ready to show to the customer. So again, recap, I would say very, pretty quick to get up and running. My biggest time sponge was getting my template tuned up, and then moving my findings out of AttackForge and into Sysreptor. Oh, okay. Maybe last thing to mention is that I mentioned I took manually a few findings out of AttackForge and made them into JSON files to put here. I was able to pull all of them out in one big dump. The good and bad news there is I just have like the basic AttackForge account, and that does not include API access. So I did have to buy that for 1 month, even though I needed the access for like 5 minutes. And that access was $100 a month. So, but well worth it if I think about time to money, right? To be able to just dump out all those JSON files and start using all my custom files with Sysreptor. I did need to enlist some help from friends to kind of Frankenstein the AttackForge JSON files to import in nicely with Sysreptor flavored ones. But again, now that I'm here, it's a pretty, smooth running operation. So I really, I just wanted to kind of get this all out there because I was writing like mad this week and just thought some of you have been talking about Sysreptor with, so I wanted to give you a peek and just talk about my experience with it. Okay, thank you, Tim. Tim says it's big fun, and Tim, I hope you didn't feel pressured to say that. And okay, and then last tangent related thing, or two last tangent related things. Just if you're still hanging on, I should do this at the beginning, but I never ever do. I wanted to just let you know that we've got our light pen test, light training class coming up April 23rd through 25th. It's 3 half days. You don't need to bring anything but yourself and a desire to pen test. And I give you direct access to a lab like this where we local privilege escalate. We beat the heck out of Active Directory. It's just a jolly good time. So I think there's still a couple, 1 or 2 slots left. So I wanted to mention that. And then one reporting related item just to close on that has nothing to do with a tool specific subject, but in our here's something that we've gotten super good feedback on the last year or so that I wanted to share with you. We finished a pen test a couple weeks ago, and at the very end of our reports now in our new CIS Reptor template, we've got a section that's like, at the end, right before the disclaimer, it's an appendix, and it's called Appendix Environmental Changes or something like that. And what we do is we say, hey, here are all the things that we touched and saw and did that may need adjustment on your side of things. So it'll be a list of all the accounts that we compromised through like password cracking. It'll show, maybe we had a local admin on some box, and so we added another account to the local admin group, or maybe we spun up a new local admin just to kind of have a foothold there for a long time. We try to be really diligent about tracking all that stuff and then reviewing that with the customer at the end. And it's kind of our way of saying we tried to clean up the house to the way it was before we left, but we wrote it all down so that you can go and sanity check our work and make sure that really the network is almost like we were never here. And I'm paraphrasing, but we got a really nice comment a couple weeks ago where a client was like, this speaks to the respect you have for what you do and the trust that we give you by pen testing our environment. And that really hit me hard. Like it reminded me just what that situation is like, right? Company hires us. They invite us to bring some, they let us plug in some random box that they don't know what's on it. They don't have any visibility. They can't log into it, and are kind of like, yeah, hack all our stuff and maybe see information we'd never want seen outside these walls, and maybe get access to accounts we'd never want anybody to have access to. And there's just like a lot of like trust that comes along with that. And so I just wanted to share that because I think that is something that we should do. And this client went on, they kind of closed the story to say they had a pen test a couple years ago by another agency where they're like, yeah, they gave us good findings. They did a good job, but they're like, the place was a mess when they were gone. There was new AD accounts, new computer objects all over the place, new local admins that they didn't even know existed. And so they were a little frustrated going, we don't know what all changes were made. We don't know if those local admin accounts on servers had good passwords on them. And so the burning question they came up with at the end of this story was, are we less secure after having a pen test done that is supposed to make us more secure? And this guy was like, that kind of keeps me up at night. So anyway, I just wanted to share that anecdote because I feel like it speaks to, the importance and the sensitivity of what we do and how we should do our absolute best to proceed with caution. And like renting a VRBO, right? You leave it clean, you leave it in better shape than you found it, ideally. And I think I just was like a pastor for a few minutes. So here ends the reading. I'd like to dismiss the congregation at this point. But I really appreciate you coming and checking out the live stream. It was really it was fun. So what I'll just see, we've got like 5 minutes. If there's any questions, comments. Oh shoot, there was a bunch here. Jeff gave me a Chat GPT link. I'll check that out. If you've got anything, I can't click it. I can only show it. Okay, I'll have to look at that later, Jeff. Jay says, great show, definitely worth looking into. Okay, very cool. And all right, good. And that's what I hope, right? I would hope kind of in all our work, I hope that like anything we do in one of these live streams just like nudges you one way or another. Because I've given some of my friends like a 30-second version of what we just covered in an hour. And they're like, whoa. Can't go to Word. I've got too big of a team. The learning curve is steep. I can't do it. I can understand that. I think with a big team, this might be a little different to get used to, having to do a bit more of the HTML and writing in the weeds. For us, it wasn't too hard. But yeah, that's what I hope, is that you'd either, get excited or you go, you know what, I'm good with what I have right now. I'm just going to quick check my notes. I think that's everything. I think that's everything I wanted to tell you about. We did the caddy, we did the API, we did the Impacket, we did the Docker, we did all the things. Okay. Well, if you need anything from us, you know where we are, 7minsec.com. And tomorrow at some point, if you go into blog, there will be then an audio version of this that just, gives the audio condensed version of everything we went over. And you can find that podcast wherever you find podcasts. I think it's on most of the things, Spotify and Apple Store and Badoobly-doo and etc. So with that, I'll send you off on your afternoon. Thanks so much for hanging out, and hope to see you next week. We try to do this every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. Sometimes we miss it, but that's the last thing I'll plug. 7minsec. I've said last a lot and then keep going. I feel like my dad. 7minsec.com/live. You can find all the stuff we've done. And this recent interview with Andrew Morris of Gray Noise, I highly recommend that one. If you like geeking out, if you like honeypots, he was just a blast, a complete blast to talk to. So, okay, I'm going to stop selling things and play the bumper. We'll talk to you later. Have a good one. You've been watching or listening to 7 Minute Security, a weekly podcast focused on pen testing, blue teaming, and building a career in security. For more episodes like this, visit 7ms.us. And for information about our consulting services, visit 7minsec.com.